I am a noob, but I finally made it out of bronze and thought, this is it. This is the time I get out of Elo hell. Unfortunately, that's not quite how it went. And just after my meteoric rise where I hard carried all the games to get my way out of bronze, I got stuck with feeders for about 10 or 15 games in a row, and I know that's what every noob says, and that's why I'm saying it. It was the feeders' fault and not mine. Not mine whatsoever. So I decided if I'm going to be trying to make it out of Elo hell, and it doesn't really matter what I decide to do if I have to hard carry every game, I'd rather just do it with something I enjoy doing. And I love playing Twisted Fate, and I thought, let's play something a little bit off meta and try and make my way out of Elo hell that way. It's the end of the season anyway, there's nothing really to worry about. I'm probably not going to make it further than gold if I win all of my games from now on, so might as well try and play something I like playing. So what you'll see is a montage of a couple of plays from Silver Elo Ranked, EU West, just to see if Twisted Fate is viable enough to play at this low Elo. I'd like to point out that I don't recommend this, and I don't think that it's ideal by any means. However, at a certain point, I guess you just gotta have fun and stop trying to grind your way out of low Elo. One thing to note, and you gotta keep this in mind, you're gonna be flamed really hard for picking things off meta. Even though it's silver, and in reality, what you pick doesn't really matter that much as long as you're better than everyone else at playing the game, at playing your champion. A great flash. You should be okay. However, you will experience so much flame. It's just part of the game, especially at this elo where everyone's talking about. From what I understand, it just continues all the way up. It's just part of the game, and you got to put up with it. So, having kept that in mind, Twisted Tank. I generally build him Rod of Ages, which is the tanky start that you would do if you're playing mid lane. After Rod of Ages, I'll go Rylais Crystal Scepter, and then I'll go Liandry's Torment. So it's all the things that provide a bit of ability power, but also HP, and a little bit of magic penetration from Liandry's Torment as well. So you just jump straight into team fights, and you have a lot more sustain in team fights than you would do as a normal Twisted Fate. And that way, you can just act as a stun bot through the whole fight and try and help your team as much as possible. You'll have a mid laner putting out loads of magic damage anyway, hopefully. So you just come in, stun them. If you've got a tanky jungler, you're doing great. So what you take advantage of is TF's global presence, which is what makes him so threatening. And if you take teleport, that'll double it. Again, this isn't ideal, but it works for some reason, or it's worked for me for some reason. And that way you can just jump in whenever there's a team fight, tank some of the damage, not too much because his stats don't allow you to scale too well as a tank. But you can tank a little bit of damage and just keep running around and stunning people throughout the fight, and it will help your entire team get as much damage out as possible in the time it takes to finish the fight. Again, get used to flame. This Thresh was flaming me the entire game, the whole time. Like, I don't know, he was angry that I hadn't died. He was probably angry that I hadn't got any kills, but I was involved in 8 kills at this point. And yeah, and it was all basically like this. It's just you get stun in and you try and get your team to pile enough damage, or you drop into their back line. Do a little bit of AoE if you pick the wrong card, and then just try and make yourself as useful as possible throughout the fight. Unfortunately, you don't provide like the best front line, but you're more of an offensive top laner. And also more of a stun bot, although you do soak up, as you can see, soak up some damage, and you can really go for their back line. Another thing is, if you're a massive noob like I am, and you pick the wrong card, like I just did there, instead of stunning I picked blue, I managed to sustain through all this damage. Luckily the Jinx wasn't very fed, and that's probably why I managed to sustain through it. But that extra little bit, especially when you're at silver elo, can't hurt. For a build that I like to call Armoured Fate, some people like to go Iceborne Gauntlet in top lane TF. but I prefer Rylais. It still has the slow, and it also has that extra kick of magic damage from the needlessly large rod, which I prefer to have. I prefer to have that extra bit of damage instead of having the armor. And then I'll just build a full armor item like Deadman's Plate if I need it later in the game. I don't know if it's the right way, but it's the way I like to play it. What do you mean you want to give up? No. So around this point in the game, you'll be putting out some decent damage. So after my Liandry's Torment, or even before I finish it, I like to go for whoever's dealing the most damage. Or I'll just go Void Staff and then Warmog as I did there. So it depends on if you want to be putting out more damage. If your carries aren't putting out enough damage, you might want to go Void Staff against their tanks. And if you want to go a specific resist, so say they're middle and super fed, you go for Spirit Visage, and then either go Warmogs or whatever you feel like, and then you win the game. It's really easy. It's a great time. And despite all the flame at the start, Weaver did the most damage and won the game. So guys, let me know if you like the video. If you have any advice for me to make me less noobie, then it'll be welcome, and see you soon.